here. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You sound pretty good.
Robust.
That's the word I was gonna use. It just came out.
I haven't heard mine. I just wanna make sure I'm understanding it.
At least we're all sitting in the, talking into microphones. Alrighty, so we have to adopt tonight's agenda.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda. Second.
Okay, so it's been moved by Bob and seconded by Dave that we adopt.
Austin.
Oh, that was Austin? Okay. You guys are hanging around together too long, you sound alike, pretty soon you're gonna look alike, and your wives will get confused. Seconded by Austin, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries. Consent items, we have to approve the minutes from 02/06/25.
You have to, attendance?
Attendance first, yep, you're right, okay. That's why you're here, shit like that.
Jerry,
Here.
Marcy, Bob,
Here.
Dave,
Happily
Keith's here, Austin.
Here.
Kathy.
Here.
Josh
Sir?
and Chad.
Yes.
Perfect
And
attendance.
others present.
Justin.
We got two firefighters in the back.
Okay.
Might as well stick Will in there too,
Yeah.
if he shows up.
Do you have your name?
Oh.
Do you want to speak? You know, we have a ticket.
He doesn't want to talk.
Oh,
Are you wanting to address?
Hey, Brendan, thanks.
Alright, so we're on call reviews and reports for the month.
So everybody has their handy dandy little call sheet. As you can see, we've been busy. Year to date, 179, so we're up 31 calls from last year this time. Last check, if A shift can keep it together, we're a little over 3 calls a day, which,
So, I mean, let's say, I see 179 year to date, so how do we know where we were last year? Is that on there?
if you look at,
148.
yeah, the next line down.
Oh, okay, alright, go down, alright, I see, thank you. Go ahead.
You know, again, we have been, busy with lots of things, lots of different things. Accidents have been
Yeah,
fairly high on our, list of things that we've been doing lately, so,
have we had anybody seriously injured? I mean, we've had 7 or 8 wrecks.
we had a fatal on 20, is that,
Turns out it wasn't.
okay, so almost fatal on 20, so,
Right here?
yeah.
Big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is if you're the person.
Yeah,
Um,
you sound disappointed.
no, I,
The biggest problem's been state highway hasn't been treating State Road 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as those workers start getting to work,
Mhm.
they're trying to stop, and so slide offs, rollovers,
Yeah.
and Dave, you probably know it every morning, you're driving that way.
Oh, it's a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mess.
So the St. Joe County Police are now on there at the expense of Amazon, I guess they
Yeah.
said. Yes, so 1 or 2 of them there all the time.
I'd
patrolling.
take 20, it's just as bad.
Yeah.
20 is just as bad.
Yeah. Better crossings though, maybe.
I'm curious
Bad
how
crossing
many,
Timothy for us.
how many stops that they've had, you know, we don't really see those. We do see results because you were on 20, or State Road 2 quite a bit, and we do see that they're out there, and they do have people pulled over. So,
Just never reported that.
did they? I've not seen
The
it.
St. Joe
Yeah, it's
County
like
is.
44 warnings and.
There were
29
stops and then
Yeah,
they.
two arrests.
Yeah, 2 arrests.
So,
I think he just told what he did.
How long? You know, is that a week?
It was a week. A week,
yeah.
That wasn't just
Yeah.
him, that was.
Yeah, they said they stopped some guy going 90 miles an hour through there.
Right on the arrest.
Yeah.
Do we miss the consent items?
Yes, we did.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of
Good.
February.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded, so we had Austin give a motion, Bob seconded it, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Just make sure to circulate those for signatures.
Oh,
Which one? One
Yeah,
copy in
book here.
particular?
Oh, in the book. Got it.
maybe we have an official pen.
courtesy of Feeney's.
Is this also one from last month too?
I thought we did last time.
We did.
You did.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so we're back on, calls.
Yeah, so that's really the piece of the calls, to the right there, you can see the breakdown by your areas that you're representing. And we've been to Patrol Road, 4 times this year, so it's nothing, nothing too taxing. To stick in the vein of calls is mutual aid, because mutual aid has come up. We've responded, we've given 16 times and received mutual aid 27 times, so. But you see that instance of multiple calls, that's a little higher than we like to see. We'd like to keep that ideally between 20 to 25. Honestly, we'd like to keep it lower than that, but some of that's due to multiple accidents at one time, so we're calling for, that's where you're getting the mutual aid received.
That's a mutual call if we go and
Yes.
Warren comes.
Yeah, Warren will come help us.
Okay.
I know for Keith and Bob, the accusation of how many times that Warren's been over here was 300 and some times, and we followed up were you at the legislative day, or was that just Tim?
I was there.
Okay. Jason Critchlow had approached, our board members and said that they've been over 347 times or something ridiculous, so Chad was good enough to run the numbers,
What was it?
40.
And they said 300, they announced that in front of people?
Is this just a member of the public or a member
Uh,
of?
it would be the
Knows
neighboring-
47, we went to
The neighboring
46.
trustee, in St. Joe County. In St.
He
Joe.
said how many?
Portage Township.
300
Yeah.
and something.
Trustee.
Yeah.
For in 2024.
Well,
2024.
actually, there's a little subtlety there to it, that you guys place a call immediately, but then when the backup call is made, they immediately figure out that they have resources to take care of it.
Right.
A lot of
Oh,
times.
and call them off.
I'm sorry, if, when the second call comes in, the dispatcher, 911 dispatcher knows that they're out, so they immediately create a call to Warren.
Yep.
Or Portage.
And it's how the system should work. If we're busy, then you need the next closest unit. It would be in LaPorte County, if it's Kankakee. In St. Joe County, it would be St. Joe County Fire Territory now, or Warren Township. But 12 of those instances out of the 40, they never left the station. So that number gets whittled down, and so it's a little misleading. And then we had gone to them 20-something times, so it's like, listen, it's a fair trade. So we actually had lunch with the fire chief, and he assured us that it's not an issue, and that it was being overstated. So, but slightly, but I wanted you all to know that
Yeah.
it's a fair shake going either way. So,
But is the number's a lot higher than what you'd like to see it to be.
currently, for this year, but it's been bad weather, it's been instances of the state not salting as we feel they should be, they're waiting until the traffic is already on it, and that's, to me, is completely avoidable. Now, we've seen an uptick on traffic on 22 as well, and so we are seeing some accidents there. But just, we don't have any new houses, so it has to be that that daytime population that's coming here to work that's causing this fluctuation. To that point, we've been, they had gone almost a year without us being called there for any type of calls to the construction site. Now it seems fairly regular, once a week, twice a week.
Not just to the highway, but into the construction site?
So
For-
medical issues, we've had, was it one full arrest? Or just a STEMI, or?
No, last year we had a full arrest there, and this
So
is
we
a
have one full
cardiac
arrest,
issue.
so we just had a car, so, but again, you're getting those people on the sites, and now, we got the drone footage from GM, and GM is up and working. They're not full construction strength, but they're out there actually pouring the foundations now, so, we're gonna see more traffic out there, so I can only anticipate that we'll be a little bit busy.
Where are you getting the drone footage from?
GM hired somebody to do that.
Oh,
I wish it was ours. Bob,
Could be ours.
Bob guaranteed.
Did we ever, we talked about that before, we're just gonna have to sort of change the subject too much. Would we ever come up with anything on it?
I think we should make a motion that we should get one at some point.
I would say
think we should
Bob,
make a motion that Jerry pays for it.
Jerry who?
I would say just hold that because we're gonna be doing some, I'll be coming back to the board, probably May-ish, and we're gonna start talking about some additional appropriation for capital projects. Again, not asking for any additional tax money, but, we had the sale of the tanker and some other revenue that's come in that we can spend effectively for some capital projects, and the drone may be one that we can identify for that.
How much is that, John?
Well, depends if we're getting to the point where tariffs are coming, so
Yeah, currently,
I don't wanna speak,
Oh, okay,
currently
okay,
15 to 18, but
we don't know.
okay.
We don't know. I don't wanna speculate or anything, just kinda wanna ride and see what happens. And then to Austin's point, if it's Chinese technology, they may just outright ban it at that point, who knows? But we have some other capital improvements that we wanna take care of, and we wanna make sure that we have the whole list, so we don't come to that exercise twice. Any questions on the
All
report?
right, commercial inspection, smoke alarms. Our smoke alarms aren't moving along quite as quick as I
No,
thought they
even-
would. Even for
Dave-
free and
even-
installed, I thought.
That was a great post, and
we had one request and then they've never
Sent.
called and left a message and they never returned and,
That's
But-
crazy.
I know, that's.
but we have done like,
It's just,
I think 7 or 8 this month so far,
oh,
so,
good,
in
good.
March, so.
you know, you could,
Maybe it's the weather. Everybody just, you know.
That's
with-
exactly when to do it.
Well,
Yeah, when people are running space. heat
Giving
and
stuff away.
everything else. Yeah, yeah.
We install, we pay for it.
and that's the stipulation, and maybe that scares people away, because, the Red Cross says that we have to install it. And maybe people
Maybe they don't like it.
Yeah.
want us in their house, and I
Yeah,
respect that, but
that could be.
Maybe we've been a little too judgmental about things.
they see him coming up and they're like, never mind.
Yeah, the top of the refrigerator's dusty, he's gonna
Right.
know. All right, well, moving on. Typical, so we're good on that. All right, back to the agenda here. Call review. Fire marshal recommendation, so
Yes, this is
we all
mostly-
got an email on it.
Did everybody have a chance to review it? So I'll start with questions before I start talking, because I'd like to try to address anything that comes up.
It didn't say a lot about this person, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, is it one of you guys there, or?
No, Zach Luke,
Yeah.
so,
He's not here.
no, it's probably the worst kept secret around, right? You know, everybody, when we start talking, we get pretty excited about the fire marshal, and this particular hire, I won't say it's once in a lifetime, but the dude is so bright. We're getting him from the city of South Bend and St. Joseph County. He is currently the deputy building commissioner for those organizations. And, I've known him since 2018, 2019, when I met him when he worked for the state fire marshal's office. And we were inspecting, actually, Prairie View at that time, and just instantly impressed. That he has a pictographic memory, he knows the code inside and out. He's got the personality that we need in this position that can work with our local businesses and not be that, it's my way or the highway. And I think that when we start talking about fire marshal or a code official, we start worrying about that because it can be very off-putting. We've not done this, and now this guy tells me he's gonna shut it, and it's none of that. But, you know, right time, right person, and for the right place. The other beautiful piece is that he knows all the design releases for our new industry. And that by far is worth its weight in gold. And so we've talked to him about this, and obviously we need this board's recommendation to go to the township board for the hire. But, I mean, I don't see any disadvantages to this at this point.
I'd make a motion that we hire him. We recommend him.
Recommended?
Second.
no, then we can discuss it.
Yeah, 100%.
Go ahead.
After that,
Credentials look good.
And it looked awesome, but
so, what kind of a career path is that a fair question to ask, or how does this fit in with where he's been, and where's his future going in
So in his interview process, we kind of like, it because you think a building code official in big cities and that,
Yeah,
why are you stepping back to this?
I'm staying here.
But he started his down in Westville as a firefighter, right? When, after college and all that, his family's originally from here, his dad was Navy, so I saw him go all over the world, Japan, Hawaii.
What's his last name again?
Lute.
Lute.
But his dad was originally from the area, so once they got out of the Navy, they moved back here, and he moved back here in just a natural progression. But he wanted to be a firefighter. He met his wife in the fire service, he started in Westville as a volunteer, and that's where he got his training. And so he just has always been drawn to this, and he loved the fire side, but has never seen that opportunity to get here. And, to be quite honest, when I asked him that question, and you're like, Josh, to be quite honest, because my vision of this is, I want the best inspection program in the state of Indiana. And maybe that seems optimistic to this board, right, because we're just a little old New Carlisle. But I don't really like doing anything half-hearted, but I don't think that that's a lofty goal. We have the tools in place, we have the support staff, we have this group that has been unwaveringly in the support for our fire department, right? And so to build on that, it's not gonna happen tomorrow, and I understand that it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but it's gonna take a special person to make that happen. And I would say, we had another two applicants, one that didn't have any certifications, which it didn't disqualify, but it became very hard to overcome. And then one that was qualified and had some experience, but was not this level. So, and he was like, I wanna be able to build something, Chad and the crews have done an awesome job getting this program established. But what does that next level look like? And that next level look like is, first off, is taking, all our shortcomings with the software, where we don't have time to get our software built out where we need it to be. We use it as it's prescribed, but it has the capability to do so much more. Community risk reduction, and they get melted together into one thing, to teaching fire safety in the community, at the schools, adult fire safety, at the station, coming to people's house, building those programs from, we don't have those, we don't have the capabilities to do that, because we don't have the resources to do that. That's gonna fill all those gaps. We're working with the crews are still gonna be out, doing inspections, but he's gonna be there supporting that legal piece that if we go out to Amazon and they refuse us access back to a building, but they're required to, somebody that's gonna have the know-how to get us past that.
And experience in government, yeah.
So,
It's interesting.
yes, I think he's following that dream path, and, I'd like to say that I keep him forever, but, if he can get our program started, and then, New York wanted to hire him, then he had to go, I understand that, but I think that, he's gonna fit our family environment very well.
I think that he could be very useful for Bob, and hopefully, maybe you can share him some, when it comes to design release and things, because,
Design release, what we.
well, when people are buying these buildings and then they're, rehabbing them or renovating them, and if there's lots of,
Issues.
hoops
Yeah.
to go through, and you have to get a design release from Indianapolis, and I know Zach knows it, and he knows some ways that you don't have to
Yes,
get that from Indianapolis, and it can save people literally thousands of
Thousands.
dollars.
Months and months and months.
And months, yeah, like,
Yeah.
for example, Historic New Carlisle, we had to do all that and hire an architect, and it had to come from Indianapolis. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very cost prohibitive and things, and then we found out about Zach, and I think, did he help out, I forget what business.
he's helped us out, but the bread place, he kinda chatted a bunch of
Okay,
questions, he's helped us with that. He
Yeah.
gave us some input on Mother Loma's,
Yeah.
we've leaned on him for a lot of things.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's just having that local person to put eyes on it, and it's so,
And he's certified in the building piece too, so he not only is
Yeah.
a certified fire marshal, but he's a certified building official. So anything that Bob may need, And
Yeah.
then, you know, I asked Bob, I said, Bob, when you're ready to retire, that could be something that,
Mhm.
you know, the town could,
Mhm.
and he would be, and he's got the capacity to do it.
Yeah,
His work capacity, he kinda described his day-to-day, and, he has a boss, but he takes care of all that, lining up inspections, inspectors, all the plan release, all the design review, all that stuff he already does. And so that, you know, again, he could,
yeah,
you know,
I think it'd be an asset to have him in our town and things, you know, and
Well,
all his capacities, yeah.
I'm certainly not questioning whether we should hire him or not, because, you know, I think we're all on board with it. The one thing we did talk about, though, that a fire marshal was something that we didn't feel we needed until Amazon got here, so are they up for, is the county up for any helping us pay for this guy, or?
no, I think that originally, we sent a proposal to them, and they were like, yes, but we quickly realized that they have overwhelmed our resources. I mean, we've been out there 3 times this week, so, which means I'm not doing the other stuff that I have to do to do that. The thing is when construction done, that's actually when the fire department is needed the most, because the building official makes sure they build it right. We're making sure that they're maintaining it. And so, in the short term, he's gonna be out there, and we're gonna still be helping through that piece, because again, just 2 data centers are getting ready to get their certificate of occupancy. 12 in each building, 1 in 2 buildings, actually there'll be 4. But we're actually making about 8 visits. You know, we're certifying above the ceiling, make sure all the fire caulk's done, that's a day. We get out there to do, pressure testing on the pipes, that's not quite a day, but we're out there observing each zone to make sure that they're holding pressure at the regular rates. Back to your point is, if they weren't here, you probably wouldn't need one, we could handle it, because the amount of businesses
Yeah.
that we have. The thing though is that, I know that we had that mixed property at Spruce and 20, well, they're getting, we just saw some plot plans for that. That's gonna require us to be out there, so it's not just gonna be Amazon, it's the subsequent businesses that are coming through that are gonna start taxing the systems even more.
Put that on the list, though, Morris, I mean, we have conversation with Amazon, I mean, we didn't need a marshal at whatever X number of dollars until they came. I mean,
And I would say to that point, is they're giving money to the, county police for extra patrols.
Right.
I had asked for, you know, a 3-year project, and then at the end of that 3 years, we would assume that, and, you know, and every time we set them down there, oh, well, we have to think about this, well, maybe the county could do this, well, the county doesn't, St. Joe County doesn't do us any good when we're in LaPorte County inspecting. And to that, I think that they're gonna expand that subdivision, the Wykoff property is gonna expand that subdivision, the newer of the subdivision that's, what, you told us.
You talking about the one on Spruce Road?
Behind the,
Old school?
Behind Old School,
yeah, behind.
whatever that one is,
Yeah.
they sent us the environmental study piece for that the other day.
Oh, in Hudson Lake, me?
Yes.
In Hudson Lake? Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
we're
I-
starting,
Who owns that? Wyckoff?
Wyckoff owns the property right adjacent to it, and so what they're studying appears to be an extension of that subdivision.
Oh.
I don't know that 100%, it's just,
Uh-huh.
cause they don't say it.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen, you know,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
So we're gonna start seeing some rapid fire things start happening. And, you know, it just gets shifted around. And we'll talk about it when we start talking about sustainability, but, you know, at the end of the day, they're only gonna give us what they want to. And, obviously that wasn't a priority, so. in-
For them, yeah.
in-
That even made it to the end.
Right, because that's the other piece, we don't have direct, as a fire department.
Yeah.
Our interaction with Amazon is at the construction level. We're not talking long-term, we're not talking to the planners, we're not talking to any of those people. We're just talking to the construction managers, who are a big help.
Yeah.
But when it comes to things like, we need money for this,
Yeah, yeah.
and quite honestly, I think that, you know, the construction dollars that they promised the county and how they were gonna distribute it, it was somewhat, I'm not mad at the money they give us. That event was awesome and to see the money that we got. But if you look at the money that the town pieces got was very minimal of the overall money that they had given out through that grant process. So historic, two at the library and us, is that accurate?
Discover,
Discover.
yeah, historic
Food pantry.
didn't get, I don't think historic Nuclear got anything.
So roughly it's about $40,000 out of
Dana was there for
250
Discover,
some
yeah.
$1,000 they
Yeah.
gave out. And again, all the organizations were very, very deserving of what they got. I'm not by any bound. But if you're gonna invest in the community, invest in the community, right? You know, don't just, yeah, you're definitely doing these restaurants a big favor, because now, you go to any of these restaurants and those workers
Yeah.
are filling them up, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But as Joe taxpayers or Joe representative of those taxpayers, how is it actually helping us? And so, anyway, I'll get off my horse about
Yeah.
that. but-
No, but I agree with Jer. I mean, how do we, change that to where we're actually dealing with people other than the construction managers and the people that can actually front some money? Because again, the mixed unit down on Spruce wouldn't be coming if it wasn't for Amazon, so.
Do we have the resources for a fire marshal barring everything else and
Yeah.
what future is, okay?
Yeah, so to keep this board apprised, we had some money, tucked away in our overtime, or not our overtime. I didn't say that. In our part-time program, and then we actually have a little bit left over in our, healthcare to cover those expenses, and then, I'd already in the 2026 budget, it was already projected for that next year, so.
So, you have a motion and a second?
Call for question. Okay, looking for a motion to accept, recommend.
I made the motion.
Yeah,
All
there's some-
those
yeah, we do it
in
down there.
favor, just gotta vote.
Who seconded it?
It was a second.
Okay, Austin second. All those in favor of accepting?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? So, very good.
You guys are
We have a
awesome.
Could we
favorable
move into the
recommendation.
sustainability thing? So, it's coming up in our meetings, I want to make sure that my characterization of the situation is correct. So, when I say something untrue, please correct me on this. But it's my understanding that the IEC is a tax district that goes directly to the county. Is that piece correct?
It's not completely correct.
Okay, what is?
So, the IEC is in several TIF districts, right?
Okay.
Which means, that we're receiving tax money at its previous rate. So, it's farmland, so that's the 2% rate. So we're receiving tax money on unimproved farm ground. It may be improved farm ground, but I'm pretty sure it's unimproved farm ground. So we are receiving money. The remainder, once it's changed, goes into the TIF districts, which goes into a fund, which is, maintained by the redevelopment commission.
Okay.
And
So not direct to the county, it goes to a commission.
Correct.
And we are getting tax money from the IEC,
Yes.
unimproved or improved.
And just the
farmland
farmland
at a
out there?
lower rate. So it's a lower rate of tax we're receiving. Obviously, as we're talking about being stressed to take care of this, this resource, we're talking about putting in a fire station. Obviously, the county has come to us and said, we will build the building, we will buy the fire trucks, and then we're responsible for the manpower and the maintenance of the facility. That is correct, right?
Okay, so we ordered the fire truck, correct? And did the county order that, or did we order it?
We ordered it.
We ordered it, so aren't we responsible for paying it then, or no?
So it's, I understand that question, but, number one, we planned a complete out. So if the county doesn't come through with that obligation, before we go, it's 40 to 48 months, so let's establish the time frame, 40 to 48 months.
Okay.
Right before that truck starts being built, we actually convene and make sure that everything that we put in that truck is correct, and then we give the final go-ahead to start ordering those pieces of parts for those trucks. Right before that meeting, which is typically a year before it's ready, we have the options to pull the plug when they come in. So,
Is that like in 2 years from now? Approximately?
almost 3, it's 3 years.
That
Yeah.
point would
That
happen,
meeting would
that they actually start to build it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full stop there. We also ordered a brush truck, which we're gonna need, so regardless if they fund it or not, I would have to ask you for that anyway, so,
The brush truck.
but that's the very smallest amount, that's
They
two.
just ordered one truck?
What's that?
They just ordered one truck on it? Oh, they ordered 4 trucks, okay.
Roughly $7 million worth of apparatus and equipment.
So,
And that was based on the study that
Yes,
was done,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
That's all being paid by the county.
That's the,
big piece.
Well, that's the
The
plan.
That's the rumor.
And we
So in
have
3
to
years,
pull the plug plan just
Yep.
in case.
Okay,
So $7 million in trucks plus the building.
plus the-
okay, the building's part of the $7 million?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
so-
good, okay.
We have, so a year before they would start building it, so say in 3 years or whatever, we will meet, and at that time, we say, yes, go ahead for all of this.
And it would be my recommendation that if we don't actually have that piece in writing, or where they're gonna fund it from, then the recommendation would be pull the plug.
Pull the plug.
How can you do that?
It's written in the contract.
No, I mean, we need the equipment.
But if you don't have a building to put it in, you know what I mean? If none of this, if this
Oh,
stuff doesn't fall in place, then it's, we wasted a bunch of time.
And then the other piece of it is, okay, so, let's say, yeah, they're gonna pay for the $7 million, they're gonna build the building. Who's manning it, paying for that? And-
That.
And new equipment, hey, Will, we're just talking about now, come on in.
So, I spent a lot of time and I wanna try to do it high level because we can get in the weeds really quickly. Actually, Chad and I got in the weeds really quickly.
Okay.
Because, so our, to understand how we're funded, we're a separate